Victoria or whoever was on the throne at the time the Fifth Jubilee Singer song would have dug the call and response version of the spiritual sound like a work song, right? Because if you're working in the fields and you're singing to keep yourself occupied, that's a different sound, and the words may not be always, the diction may not be perfectly and honed.
How does gospel music, however one defines it, how does it provide a unique window, if it does, through which to view African Americans in America?
Yeah, I think music provides a window for us all at a point in time. It tells us about what their entertainment was, what their joys and sorrows were, what their aspirations for tomorrow were. So, and it gives you a particular time and place. And even though it's meant for a time and place, the beauty of any form is that it's going to outlive that particular time it was evolved in, right? Jazz jazz evolved from big bands at one point to small, quartets. Jazz evolved. All forms evolved, and it gives us a window of the struggles, of the hardship, of the kind of human need for salvation, feeling that something has to uplift this and make this human experience meaningful. So, like the spirituals, gospel form uplifts the soul. So that's famous gospel song. My soul looked back and wonder how I got over. It's about how did I, through difficult days, make it. And the same thing was being sung in the fields, but different styles.
So how important then was the black church both in the South and in the North?
The African American churches, Protestant churches particularly, were some of the greatest grassroots creations that African Americans had. And it unified people because one had traditions, right? Denominational traditions, Methodist, Baptist, Pentecostal holiness, sort of dominated those traditions. Black people built their own Baptist churches, right? That they had a sense of freedom. They put together their own mission movement to one another. The African American Methodists went out to mission to build build churches throughout the South and coming west. These were intentional strategies, and these were things that people could own themselves, right? You could put a penny a week for the church building fund until you got a building, and people did that. And so these were empowering things. The church was sociologically, I'm not talking about theologically, but sociologically, are the things that people build and they own. And they build schools and they build other things around their church. Just like every other ethnic group comes to the United States. So you used to see in old immigrant neighborhoods, whether it's Italians or Czech or whatever, you see the cathedral. And this is what the people built as representing themselves. And black people in the main, although there are black Catholics, and there are more black Catholics today than there are AMEs today, but they people in the main built their own.
Now, again, comparing the 18th and Vine neighborhood with Southside.
Plenty of churches in that neighborhood.
Yeah, there were like 40 some
Yes.
just in that small area. And how important was the church itself to the economics and the civic and the social life and even the business life of those segregated communities?
Well, I don't always talk about those communities in terms of they were racially segregated. They were intended to, but they were people's own community, and I think that needs to be said. That those communities belong to the people of 18th and Vine. And they were their churches, and they raised the money for them. They didn't always feel like that was a disability or that was a way of putting them back. They actually took great pride in that because this was our community. These were our schools. What they were complaining about was, okay, like any other ethnic group, we don't receive the funding